Things are really picking up now for this Miami Heat organization as, yes, they just acquired their sharpshooter in Klay Thompson. But despite doing that, they still have 2 roster spots remaining and enough cap room to acquire both of those spots without surpassing the hard cap. I'm here to break down the one name that has been made abundantly clear as a likely candidate for this Heat organization this offseason that would continue to bolster this lineup and really add another layer of depth they so desperately need, especially at the center position. I'm here to break down the Nick Richards conversation and the updates we have surrounding him and the likelihood he actually lands with this Heat organization this offseason. We'll break down all of that as well as whether or not this would be a good signing for this Heat team, all on this episode of Heat Digest. But before we get to the news and information, we do appreciate you clicking on the video, but please do us a favor by scrolling down and smashing that subscribe button, as 80% of you guys watching this video currently are not subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate all the love and support, so again, thank you guys for everything. But now let's not waste any more time and get right to it, breaking down the news. Now, if you missed the last episode on Heat Digest, first of all, go check it out. But we highlighted the news, the breaking news, that Klay Thompson is officially a member of this Miami Heat team after going through all of the buyout financial aspects of the situation going on with the Dallas Mavericks. And once that buyout actually cleared and Klay Thompson cleared waivers, it was made clear that it seemed likely he was going to sign with this Miami Heat team on a 2-year, nearly $13 million deal. And then we found out late last night it actually took place. Yes, he cleared the waivers and he accepted the contract from this Heat team, and it's still just a matter of a time until it is officially official. Based off last night when the news broke, it was still considered pending, but this is what the contract looks like, and this is huge for the Miami Heat. And the reason being is because Pat Riley did it again. Not only did he wait out the Dallas Mavericks, play a huge game of chicken for Klay Thompson, and ended up winning by acquiring him because they got what they wanted. He was bought out by the Mavericks. They didn't have to make a trade, giving up Jovic or any form of draft compensation in order to get the 36-year-old sharpshooter from Dallas. And now they get him on a contract that still allows them to fill out both of the 2 remaining roster spots on this Heat team without going over the hard cap. And it seems like Nick Richards is by far and away one of the 2 options for this Heat team. And when I say that, I mean he is the most obvious and just consensus option for this Heat team to fill out one of those 2 roster spots. We have mentioned him really all offseason long because we find him in Miami Heat workout videos, whether it's with Trey Donaldson, Bam Adebayo, Devion Mitchell, as these guys have posted on their social medias all offseason long, specifically Devion Mitchell, and just them staying in the gym, staying ready, in live workouts, in live pickup games, whatever it may be. And they are in the South Florida area specifically, and they are in the Heat facility. And in doing so, Nick Richards is involved in these trainings, involved in these workouts, in these open runs, and he's doing it in Miami Heat gear. Now, we broke down that any free agent can work out in the Miami Heat facilities if they sign a waiver. And it doesn't mean that everyone that works out in Miami or in the Kaseya Center or in the Miami Heat facilities in general in an offseason period where they are a free agent is a guaranteed lock to become a member of this Miami Heat team in the following season. But based off how this Heat team is currently constructed, the needs of this Heat team that still remain at this point in the offseason, it being August 24th, it really does seem all signs are pointing to the idea that Nick Richards will be the newest member of this Heat team in the coming days, if not weeks. As we got this from Ira Winderman, again, this giving us more ideas surrounding the financials of the Klay Thompson situation and contract and how this still leaves the Heat in a position where they can acquire more players this offseason. So again, first one from Ira Winderman. As it turns out, Klay Thompson gave up a lot, almost $10 million in his buyout, and took a deal with the Heat that starts at $5.6 million next season, again with the Heat. What that means is the Heat immediately have room to add 2 additional players at vet minimum and remain under their hard cap, which is absolutely massive. Remember, the Miami Heat, after acquiring Giannis Antetokounmpo, had what, 5 roster spots remaining, and had roughly $18.5 million to fill out those spots. It seemed almost impossible, but despite that, they were able to acquire Tim Hardaway Jr. They were able to bring back Fontecchio. They were able to bring in Klay Thompson, and things are really starting to round out. But now they just would really like one more big to give more flexibility, more depth, and just overall just more abilities to this Heat team, especially in the power forward and center position. And I do enjoy the idea of them actually. Oh, wrong tweet. I do enjoy the idea of them adding another layer of depth to the big man position, especially if it's someone like Nick Richards, who can be a 10-8 guy. We've seen it in his career dating back to his tenure in Chicago with the Bulls. His ability to just rebound, dunk the basketball, and finish amongst the rim and knock down free throws at not the greatest clip, but a clip, we'll say, is exactly what the Heat need. Putting him next to Giannis, Bobby Portis, Jovic, like this, Bam Adebayo, it's going to really, really allow him to not have so much pressure. There's not going to be any focal point for him on the offensive end outside of grabbing offensive rebounds and finishing strong near the painted area when he finds the basketball in his possession in that area of the floor. Outside of that, setting screens, whether they're on-ball screens or elevator screens or however it may, whatever schematics Eric Spoelstra puts him in, that's really all they're going to look for him to do, and that's all they should ask for him to do with the amount of talent, especially offensively, this Heat team currently has. Now, the second tweet from Ira Winderman we're going to mention. So, should they desire, Heat can add 2 players beyond Klay Thompson right now or anytime as they please. Otherwise, get to a 15-player maximum standard roster and still have a bit left over under their hard cap as well. Again, just elaborating on the idea that 2 more players can be acquired by this Heat team, and they still would not surpass that hard cap. That felt like there was no way around it. Like, it felt inevitable almost that the Miami Heat were going to surpass that hard cap based off how their finances looked this offseason after acquiring, obviously, Giannis and Bobby Portis in that blockbuster trade earlier this offseason. And we get this from Flash Sports Buzz, really just nailing down the idea that Nick Richards is by far and away the most clear and cut option for this Heat team still remaining because of the position he plays, the role he plays at that position, and the actual Heat needs for the remainder of this offseason. Again, this is from Barry Jackson, Flaw Sports Buzz, FLA, Florida, Sports Buzz. For those asking about internet chatter linking Heat to veteran center Nick Richards, who has been working out with the Heat at Kaseya and photographed in Heat gear, Miami has kicked around the idea of adding him. He's on the list of possibilities, but there has been no Heat offer and certainly no deal as of midday today, and this tweet was from last Wednesday. We broke it down when it originally came out, but he goes on to say, per a source, it would be a minimum deal if he were to be signed. Miami is seeing what becomes available among centers in the weeks ahead. Waive and stretch deadline is August 29th. So, again, 5 more days. It's August 24th. 5 more days, and then if he's not signed by then, it's because Miami is waiting to see who then becomes available because of the waive and stretch deadline, which is on August 29th. And if another center that possibly fits this schematic lineup or the schematics of this team, I should say, better than someone like Nick Richards, at least on paper, then they would probably go in a different direction. But based off all accounts right now, as currently constructed and how it currently sits on August 24th, Nick Richards is by far and away the best option for this Heat team still remaining, and he seems like the most likely option for the Heat to then be acquired by them in the coming days. Again, we mentioned the stats early in the overall production. He's not going to shoot the three-point shot, but what he can do is finish around the rim. You see his ability to keep or maintain a high field goal percentage because, one, he doesn't shoot that many shots, but also he's shooting high percentage shots. He's dominantly down in the paint, and that's exactly what you want to see. Again, the free throw percentage is not phenomenal. There's been stretches where he's made them at an 80% clip, but also there's been stretches where he makes them at a sub 63% clip. He's up up and down, but his overall abilities are exactly what you want. The point production being anywhere from 3 to 10 points per game, but the rebounds is really what we're looking at here. 8.5, 7.5, 4.5, 5.5, 7, 8.5. The guy has an ability to go out there and really be a legitimate option for this Heat team on the block when it comes to rebounding, and also the ability to block shots or at least alter shots is still there, because not only is he 6'11", he has a great level of athleticism for someone that large, and he could really be a legitimate enforcer in a second unit for this Heat team and alleviate some defensive pressure off of guys like Bam, Bobby Portis, and Giannis when they need a breather and have to step off the court. Let me know down below your thoughts and opinions on this possible acquisition by the Miami Heat, this likely acquisition, I should say, in Nick Richards, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.